Just keep going. Hello, hello. Jesus, did you text him and tell him to jump on?
I just sent the email now. He just sent me another email address.
Hey,
I got to do my Goggins thing today too, Brian.
What's
your
that?
what?
My David Goggins thing. David Goggins thing. I was at the gym. I was like, I'm back, motherfuckers!
Did you run with your camera beside you as well?
Damn it. Next time.
Oh, is that black dude, the little skinny?
Whoa, he's just a person. Don't define each other by colours, mate.
Okay, that real skinny dude with the bald head that runs through the bloody middle of the desert, yelling and screaming at people.
Yeah, kind of.
At everybody, it's on his phone. He's yelling.
He used to be a Navy SEAL. He used to be like really overweight.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Because he cracks me up when every time I watch him, he's like, "You fucking do it, just do it.
Don't be a fucking pussy."
How you feeling? How you feeling after the roll?
Tired.
Yeah. Sorry, mate. I'm just, I'm a salmon person.
Such is life, mate.
So we got the most technical person, who's the last on, and hard to try and find out. Oh,
and he's got no camera. You need your camera, bro.
Oh, crying out loud.
It's my camera. Oh, wait, here we go. Boom!
Oh, look at him. He's got this like back screen drop.
Oh.
What the hell is that?
I'm pretty flash, boys. I'm pretty
flash. Last to the fucking game, mate.
Yeah, I'm bringing the standard up, boys.
Hang
on. You got yourself sorted now? What? Have you got your earpieces
I may
in?
get invaded during my interview with the dogs or the kid, so I'll just try and push them out as I can.
Yeah, you just got to be quick on that mute button. That's what I
know about that, but get the fuck out!
Get up, motherfuckers! All right, I've only got half a drink, so I've got to run down. I wasn't ready to jump on.
You run down and get it, and I'll do my intro bit. So
it's because Phil came in late, unorganized, so it's made me feel unorganized.
It's not
what tomorrow says, though.
It's 6:58.
Perfect.
Why don't you get your beer?
Goggins?
Yeah, come on, Alfie.
Okay, I'm gonna do this before he gets back. Why do I look like I'm freezing all the time? My connection doesn't.
Yeah, you are. Your video keeps glitching.
Oh,
maybe you should try jumping out and back in again.
I'll see how it goes.
Yeah.
Oh, that's shit.
Shit.
Fuck.
This always happens when 4 people get on.
God.
Yeah.
Nah,
I can turn my background off because sometimes the backgrounds I think maybe fuck with people with maybe.
Clearly not in a fancy city like that, Phil.
Yeah.
Okay, let's see what happens. I don't know. If it gets worse.
How about this one, Forrest? Is that better?
Oh, no, it's much more realistic.
Konnichiwa.
I'm down in
Konnichiwa, bitches.
Oh, okay.
Okay, I'll turn it off.
Oh, look, if mine's going to keep freezing, I'm going to get pissed off.
Now you got TV in the background, mate.
Yeah, well, I'll turn the TV off.
Put some fights on so we can watch those.
Okay, so, welcome to, he's back. Welcome to Talking Jits and Giggles. We got a couple of fellas on tonight, but what I'm going to do is, like I always do, hit up the old sponsors first. Open Palm Massage Therapy, Ro and Jerry. Look, they work wonders. They've got a studio inside our gym in New Brighton. So if you're in Christchurch, like I said, I think I've said it before, if you're in Christchurch or you're visiting, make sure you hook them up. They work wonders, and I think it's a good part of your jiu-jitsu to get your rehabilitation and that kind of stuff, as I'm going to go see them tomorrow morning. So that's awesome. And then we have, who are we going to hit off first? There's 4 of us tonight. So we're going to hit Forrest down in my bottom corner, and then we got Phil Kourey on the other corner. How you all doing, fellas?
Good, man.
Yeah, no, good, bro.
Doing good. I'm
good too.
Oh, yeah, you're right.
Yeah,
now,
I forget.
This is the 7th episode of Talking Jits and Giggles, correct? As he scales back his beer.
Yes, it is.
Okay. Oh, are we going to wait for you now?
I'm good.
Okay. We also had a draw that we did this week for the $200 voucher. And
Bullshit draw is what it was.
hey, excuse me, it was a
'Cause
really
I
good
didn't
draw.
win. That's
Yeah,
why
well,
it was a bullshit draw.
Yeah, well, you know, life goes on though. But someone well deserving won it, and
Oh, no doubt.
Bryan is
It's
gonna
not me.
Bryan is gonna kick that person off.
Yeah, I'll just bring it up. It's Jordan Katie Doherty from Queenstown. So she's a purple belt down there. And I even filmed how I fucking did the draw just so people would know I didn't set it up. Had to do number generators, and I filmed the whole thing with my phone going through. That looked really weird. But anyway.
Mate, we're getting technical now.
Trying to.
This has been great. Yeah, so welcome, fellas. Look, we'll just, like I say, it's just about talking about jiu-jitsu and talking about shit, mainly about your guys' jiu-jitsu and your guys' shit more than ours.
Who?
So, look, just we'll start off with Forrest. Introduce yourself, Forrest. Yeah, you can chime in anytime you want, Phil, but everyone's known each other for quite a while. So, yeah, Forrest, tell us a wee bit about yourself, mate. When did you start doing martial arts, jiu-jitsu, and, yeah, just to where you are?
So, obviously, Forrest. I think I started in like 2005 or 2006. I started off with kickboxing. Gave that a whirl. Always wanted to do, did obviously, as everyone does, did karate as a kid. Just goes hand in hand.
Who does karate as a kid, mate? I'm telling you.
Everyone does karate as a kid. Did that, and then, yeah, I just wanted to sort of get into a bit of self-defense. So started doing some kickboxing at Sitting. What was that? Christchurch Mixed Martial Arts, I think it was. Under back in the day on Waltham Road. Did that for a bit. Then started to see jiu-jitsu because they had jiu-jitsu there. So they had he was a second degree black belt in Japanese jiu-jitsu. My former sensei called Ricardo. He was a small man, jacked as fuck. And he was cool. He's just 4 foot nothing. Made Bryan look tall.
He was a Brazilian too, wasn't he?
Yeah.
But in Japanese jiu-jitsu.
Yeah.
Yep.
So he did Japanese jiu-jitsu. He was under a guy called Morganti. So it was Morganti jiu-jitsu that we did it with. So me and one of the other guys went over to Brazil one year. I don't know. I think I was like an orange belt or some shit. So I must have been doing it for about a year or so, or maybe 2. I don't know. Went over there and went to Sao Paulo. It's a bit of an eye-opener. It's a bit of a concrete jungle. Get guns pulled on you and all that shit. It's great fun.
Like Wollstone.
Yes, went over there. But then he sadly had to leave for work. So then that's kind of when Carl had just started coming in. So he came down from Auckland, obviously, and started doing MMA. And then he got asked if he wanted to take over the jiu-jitsu. He was like, yep, because Carl does Japanese jiu-jitsu too. So that was pretty easy for him to roll on in there. And then he ended up linking up with you guys, the PSTL Groundworx team. And that's where I'm living.
And through that though, like now, Phil, did you go to Morganti or was it Strikeforce or?
So similar to Forrest, I started with the Sit-Run boys and then did that for a year. But then I needed some surgery on my legs and took some time off. And then I always noticed the guys doing the cool stuff in the pajamas, all different colors, because I come from a karate background. So
see, boom, there it is.
1, 2, 3. Jesus. I come from a league background.
Nah, come on. You must have come up watching ninja movies and everything. We grew up.
But I never went and did it.
Yeah, you had to try. My mum made me. But yeah. So I was with. So I thought that looked cool. So when I came back from the surgery, it was like, no, I'll just hook up with Carl Weber then in 2010 because he was running it. And yeah, I sort of got on the mix that way. So yeah, from there though, I'll continue that story, I guess. I got my blue belt technically under you, but through Strikeforce at the time. But I was also, so I started in 2010, and that's the roots of Axis as well. So basically, I started training everywhere because when I started training, you could only train 2 days a week anywhere. So it was like,
you were one of those people that just moved around.
Yeah, I want to train 6 days a week. Like nowhere did that for you. So I would just go and train everywhere. So we had a few little cool roles going back then. Actually, we had so you guys were going, so we could go see you. We had Strikeforce 2 days a week. We had the Axis guys doing it 2 days a week. We also had Kourey used to do a little low-key roll at Quest on a Wednesday afternoon, which was pretty badass for everyone back in the day. Kourey Gibson, that is.
Back in the day, those people that don't actually work a normal job at Skybar Fairleigh.
Yeah, so we used to do that at 3:30. So that was a pretty amazing thing too. And then so through that though, I eventually got my blue belt from you on the Strikeforce, and then it was about that time my work was going to send me to Japan, and it was like, okay, I know the Japanese aren't cool with people sort of cross training that much. I better just sort of stick to Axis because that's where I can train in Tokyo. We have the HQ for Axis there. So I sort of made that move and at that time I could train 5-6 days a week at Axis. So I just sort of moved mostly to training there. And then got my purple belt under Hayden, and that's where I'm at.
Nice. And you run you and Sam, is it? Or mainly you run the Riccarton one for Axis?
So yeah, well, it's changed around a bit over time, but yeah, Sam and I were basically running it when it used to be with the guys in Proactive, and then once we moved around the corner, there was a bit sort of a, other people started taking more classes. Sam and I do like a wrestling class on a Thursday night because it's just open being the badass wrestler that he is, and I just sort of tag along, and I'm just the wingman and the hype man like Bryan, and
I hope you didn't say the hype man.
Yeah, the hype man. I did say the hype man. Yeah, and yeah, that's what I do.
Oh, nice.
So I help out Hayden a bit when I can, and go and see the guys at HQ because HQ is massive. Like anyone that's gone and experienced Axis, it's crazy how many people they fit in there.
Yeah, it's quite a big facility, and I think potentially maybe expanding into the other room as well.
That's definitely happening. So yeah, anyone that's gone there, I'm pretty sure I can talk about that. But so the walls, I'm pretty sure they've got the lease all sorted. I don't know if all this COVID stuff's changed anything, but yeah, the plan was that they were taking down the walls, extending the mat space even more, running a third class at the same time. Doing all sorts of things, proper changing rooms, saunas, all sorts of stuff, hopefully. So
nice.
It's going to be badass, hopefully, if COVID hasn't screwed all of that.
No. And Forrest, the man himself. So you started with Morganti. Obviously, you've trained with a fair bit of people through Christchurch. I mean, Morganti was back in a fair way back. And then you moved with Carl. And obviously that took you into MMA. So what about that? How did your journey into MMA begin, and where did you end up, mate?
So obviously did my first lot of jiu-jitsu through Ricardo, and then when he left, Carl took over, even though he was the MMA guy. Obviously he knew his jiu-jitsu, so he became the jiu-jitsu coach. And then he started obviously running jiu-jitsu from Sit and Wrong. And I was like, yeah, a bit of punch face. Looks interesting.
Would you like a bit of punch face?
I don't mind a bit of punch face. Yeah, my wee angry man can kind of come out but not come out. And then just went from there and just did some training, and then thought one day might have a fight. So Carl goes, cool, let's make a fight happen, as Carl Weber likes to do. You pretty much say you want to fight, bam, you're on the next ticket. Had my first fight at what was it called? Was it one in town?
Was it UMF? Was it
UMF
one?
I think it was a UMF one.
That's the one with you in the photo and the dude sitting down. Is that your first
in the
fight?
cage?
Yeah, that was my first one.
I mean,
I was in the ring.
In the ring. Yeah, that's right.
Because I remember I was like shitting bricks standing there, and I was like standing at the top of the stairs, just about in tears, going, "Oh my god, what the fuck am I doing?" And then went down, and that all worked really well, and smashed that dude in about a minute and a half, and then just prospered from there. So I had 10 fights, 7 wins, 3 losses. Is and forever will be the ICNZ middleweight champ because they discontinued. So forever champ can always be called the champ.
Stamp that one.
But yeah, so I've gone through a crazy sort of way. So I've got my purple belt after that first fight. Ricardo threw me my purple belt. Then obviously went with Carl and hung out with him for a while. And then obviously when we decided to merge with you guys, we went away from Japanese jiu-jitsu, went to Brazilian jiu-jitsu. So then I got to go from purple belt back down to white belt. Man, I wish I could have stayed there for a while as a white belt. That would have been choice.
Not your white belt, Phil.
Yeah, that was so unfair when all that happened. That was so unfair.
And then worked.
Let's get one thing right though, okay? You hated pajamas.
Oh, no doubt.
Yeah.
So you only did no-gi. And back then, like, no-gi is a lot different to what no-gi is now. And you couldn't stand pajamas.
Yeah.
But you were doing well. You still got promoted.
I think I did my purple belt just wearing a jacket. I think I had shorts on.
Yeah. I did my blue belt like that with Hayden as well. Just in shorts and a jacket.
Yeah.
Hey, look, my thing is I will grade anyone where you're doing no-gi or whatever to blue belt. After that, you've got to wear the gi for me anyway. Because if you're going to do jiu-jitsu, you've got to be able to do both. If you're going to go do no-gi, you got to go to no-gi school and get promoted that way. But I remember, I don't know if it was through your blue or after you got your purple. Obviously, you were going backwards and forwards, work, doing the Bs and all that kind of stuff. So you weren't committing like all the time. But when you were in Christchurch, you definitely were. But you got really frustrated because obviously when you went straight on to doing the gi, the chokes were the thing that really gave you the shits.
Died so much.
So it took a wee bit of time for you to adjust, I suppose you could say, into the gi. Now, I wish you were fucking back at no-gi.
I don't know. Old bloody Sammy got me. He's the first giant killer. He's my first loss. So obviously, just before COVID, fortunate enough to get my black belt, and I was undefeated as a black belt until our first roll today, where Sam got me in a great bow and arrow choke.
Actually, I was watching and I was standing right there and I thought,
I heard you go, because you go, that's a good choke. I'd decided about 3 seconds before, fuck, this is a good choke. I'm not getting out of this, mate.
Oh, nice. Have you done any MMA, Phil?
No, well, see, it's strange because I was always with that club, and because I did the Muay Thai for a year, and I've done a year as a child as well at Muay Thai. And so Carl really liked my left hook, and he always used to make me come in and train with the MMA guys, and he probably asked me to have a fight. I don't know. I've lost count how many times, at least a dozen, if not more.
You're just too good looking though, eh, mate?
Oh, bro, I'm not into that punch in the face stuff. Like, you know, I'll leave that for the guys that are really good at it. I've got little T-Rex arms and it doesn't really work for me. And I was always at the end of people's jabs in training, and it just didn't make sense for me to be doing it. I'm a little compact grappler, and that's where I'll stay. I know my place.
on that then, I seem to remember we moved to, so Groundworx have moved apart. Strikeforce was still doing their jiu-jitsu, but like we were the two clubs together, but not together.
Yeah.
And tell us about the Christmas bashes you guys used to have. I remember with the Rey Mysterio mask.
Yeah, yeah. Well, no, that was a different one. So that was actually just like, so we were in between gyms. Yeah, so the Christmas bashes are another thing. We can get to that, but that one was actually like a sort of money. Well, we're just because
it's a fundraiser for us, really.
Yeah, it was a fundraiser because of the earthquakes.
I was going to say that was at the junkyard, wasn't it?
Yeah. So that was earthquake related. We were trying to get some funds, I think, to sort of make that place, and that was an amazing facility too. That thing.
I'm just so
experienced that.
Yeah, so people can actually picture when we say the junkyard, it's not a nickname. It was literally in the junkyard.
Out the back of a car wreckers.
Yeah. So you literally had to walk through the car wreckers. And I think they had a dog that used to run around. They had that really shitty-ass toilet that was around the block.
Terrible, man.
Into pretty much an open-aired concrete building.
Yeah, but how big was that? How big was that building? Like they had stage, mat area, everything in there. It was massive gym. Like, that thing was massive. That was the biggest facility I've seen in Christchurch anyone had so far. It was amazing.
Until maybe Access now.
But yeah, but in that, no, I'm talking about Strikeforce. That facility was massive. But so in that, we had this sort of cage grappling match that me and Chris Sage ended up competing in, I guess.
Wasn't that one? Didn't you fight against Thingy Lamb and? No,
that was.
What was that one?
No, that was what's the Māori boy's name? I forget his name. He ended up going.
I thought you had the tag team one.
No.
It was just you versus
you talking about the army dude.
Yeah, is he army dude? I think he is.
Oh, he was. I remember.
You're talking about not H. Fucking Paris. Was his name?
Yeah. No, that wasn't him. I forget the dude's name, and I'm gonna hate myself for it later. But anyway,
Shout out to the guy. I can't remember your name.
Shout out to you. You're awesome. But yeah, that was nuts because
You're a
we
shit
had
hot
tag
man,
team,
buddy.
Yeah, sorry, bro. We had the tag team MMA fights there, which was sick. I can't remember who was in all of them now. But
Oh, the one before us. So we had me, Cole, Shannon, and Sean were the main event. Anoka.
That's right.
And then, but before that, it was Bjorn, Paris. There was a judo guy and
Shannon Dillon, wasn't it?
No, he was in our one.
Main event.
Oh, he was in your one.
And they went fucking
He knocked himself. He knocked him out.
Yeah, two of them got knocked out.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Both of them.
It's really hard, like, because obviously we're talking about this, we were there and we've seen it. Guys, these were teammates. These weren't, so people watching, these were friends. These were teammates.
And this was a 6-foot cage, like it was nothing. And these guys were hanging on to the sides of it and could basically touch each other in the middle. It was nuts.
They were swinging for the bleachers.
Savage. And we were like, one of them was Valetudo. So the one before you was Valetudo rules. And I remember someone swinging a soccer kick in it. It was like
cock soccer kick.
Cock soccer kick. You know what I mean, though.
I don't know.
But
wrong podcast.
Abort.
Hey, you said there were no rules, Hates.
Yeah, there were no rules. Anything could go. So yeah, that was pretty good. But that was an amazing night. But then yeah, to come back to the Christmas bashes, so I was around for a couple of them. And yeah, they were interesting. Definitely brawl to your fall and then get back up again. You know, it was all the killers from Strikeforce. We used to get guys coming down from Auckland, and then Auckland had another one. You know, the likes of Dan Hooker and that used to be around for those. Forrest was, you know, the main man, obviously. And there were some killers, like, you know, who else was in there? Like the Gareth Ely's and
did you have Rob McSwain come down? Wasn't he? He was at.
Rob.
I don't know if he came down for for a Christmas bash though. He came down and did some training.
Yeah.
Because I gave him a black eye. I was like, fuck yeah.
He's going to hear this.
It's my claim to fame over Hot Rod.
Yeah, you'll take it. Yeah, no, they were nuts. They were interesting to watch. Anybody that saw one of those, that was a moment in history. Yeah, like they were sick.
Just beatings. You just have 5 minutes in the middle, and it would just be every like 30 seconds a new person would come in, and they would just try and beat the fuck out of you, and you just try to survive. Get taps. Next person. Just keep going.
Oh, there's some fun times, all right. And then, okay, so then obviously went from the junkyard, and then I think Strikeforce went into town.
No, we went to
Oh no,
to like Bromley Way to this shitty little thing.
Yes, I remember that.
Because that's where one of the Christmas bashes was.
Yeah,
that's
where
right.
Joe
I
Miller
remember
came and killed everyone.
That's right.
Fuck, he's a big boy.
He was, how jacked up was he at the time? Like, Jeebus.
Oh, actually, I remember that because I come around for a beer, and you guys were going hell for leather because we were just down the road, and it was just like, do. Oh, yeah, no, I do remember that actually.
First time I ever met Joe Muir, I was at the gym, like doing weights. And I don't know, he was playing league at the time. I was doing bench. It wasn't heavy. It was like 70 kgs. I finished. I went to take the weights off. He's like, nah, fuck, don't worry about it. Picks it up and just fucking starts curling it. And looked at me and was like, I'll start on this. What? And I was like, fuck you. Fucking, I was struggling on 70. I'm like, who curls 70 kgs?
Casual ass too.
Yeah, I do remember that.
But hold my beer. I've got this.
I think he held his beer as well. He's just fucking one-handed.
Just one.
So when did you? Was it really? I know. Look, I know.
We weren't at the one at Bromley. We weren't there for very long.
No.
And then we moved because it was way too small. And then that's when we moved into town to Chilham Street, and that was when we were out the back of the motorbike shop.
Motorbike shop, yeah.
Oh, I think that's when I back, don't we?
Yeah. I think that's when I started more crossing over, helping out with the jiu-jitsu kind of stuff and popping in, and we really started to get that mix over between Bromley and all that kind of stuff. And then, like there's some bloody cool times though. Jesus.
Yeah, for sure. Actually, bringing up that place that we were in before, we were at the back of the motorcycle shop. That's where Forrest and I first started playing around with Darth Shakes. For everybody that's rolled with Forrest or I, we
you guys like Darth
Shakes. You know,
really?
Sort of.
What's a Darth
From time to time, we'll throw one in. You know, I've definitely one of our favourites. But I remember quite vividly that was the place that Forrest.
Glad you do, because I don't.
Yeah, we were watching because I remember.
Tell me the story, Phil. Tell me the story.
Yeah, yeah. Well, because we were Fade to Black, the DVD.
Oh, good video. Good
So we
video.
never watched them. They were great stuff. And you were teaching the Peruvian necktie, I think it was. And I remember that because I remember going home one night and not being able to eat food and having to drink my dinner. Like literally, I had to have a smoothie because it was just so, like everyone.
Funnily enough, try to Peruvian today. Fucked it up,
Nice.
but that's okay.
They're beautiful. So don't you remember the system, switching to the armbar and all that sort of stuff?
Oh no, I just ballsed it up straight off the bat. There was no chance to recover.
So that was a fun system we worked on. But then after that, there was also the DAS video from that. And then I remember you showing the DAS, and then we just sort of fell in love with it. And, you know, you definitely developed it no gi a lot better than I did. And I've since done the gi variation where I sort of looped the lapel around to finish it. But yeah, it's awesome.
Well, don't rave.
It's quite funny
Forrest
too.
still does the fucking DAS.
Yeah. But with Forrest's arms are about 9 foot long, and Phil is a T-Rex. So it's very odd to say.
You got to get this.
It's weird that we figured it out together.
It's quite hard.
I figured out it wasn't good for me.
But it's, if you got to put it in comparison though. Forrest, what are you? 6'3", 6'4", 6'2".
6'2", mate.
I'll go 6'3". You know, fucking your arms are like as long as anything, and so are your legs.
Like McGillicuddy.
And Phil, what are you?
Yeah, I'm a solid 5'9".
Yeah, solid 5'9".
Oh, you're taller than me.
T-Rex arms.
Yeah, with T-Rex arms. I've got a 5'10" reach. Yeah, but, So, but for me, once I get that DAS, it's over. Whereas a guy like Forrest has to have all these cheeky variations to sort of, you know, fill up that extra space, because there will be extra space, and he has to bring his arm even higher. Whereas, you know, if I just get it to my bicep, it's over.
Oh, I'll tell you what, I watched a fucking thing the other day on Facebook. Imagine that. I did so. It was awesome though. Escape from DAS. Fuck, they look really, really cool. And I was like, cool. BJJ fanatics, Escape from DAS. Anyone watching? Make sure you get on it.
No, don't watch it. Don't watch it. Just
it's all bullshit.
There's something else you need to watch. You know, there's some fancy inverted something.
No one does DAS jokes.
Yeah, no one does DAS jokes. You don't.
There is something we need to know though. Did you, Forrest? Did you always be a park bench, or did you evolve from like a
I know. I've been a streaker weasel piss ever since I came out, man.
Oh, look, it's quite a funny one. Like
I don't know how you get called a park bench and called thick. And like,
hey, I got called thick.
I would go, no.
The only one who didn't was Bryan.
Yeah, because I'm tiny. Phil and Hayden, I would say, are tick boys. But
sorry?
Actually not.
Oh, yeah, come on. I'm just thick, bro.
You just got a booty.
Gee, sorry. Yeah, okay. Yeah. Me and Phil on this side, we're all good.
I'm a keyboard warrior.
Yeah.
I was miles away.
Yeah, exactly. Your time will come. We'll get out of isolation.
I'll get dust up.
Bubbles.
What do you mean, your bubbles? We're out.
Yeah,
we're training, man.
You guys get to be in a bubble together because you all train together, but we need to keep these bubbles of 10 people.
Yeah.
And so for Axis, this has become like a problem because with so many members and the way they're sort of facilitating that. So they're doing it. They created a booking schedule where basically they're creating groups of 10 people, and they can run 2 lots of 10 people because of the big facility. And then you're in there for 45 minutes. You've got 15 minutes to get out. They clean the place down. Next lot of 2 groups come in, and those bubbles stay together through the week. So,
really?
So that's the way they've. Well, that's the way they've got to do it. That's the way the rules have said to do it. They're adhering to the rules correctly. So
bubble of
guideline.
Well, we've done the very similar, but you know, I mean, we've got nowhere near the amount of members as Axis, so but
got way more.
Yeah, we've got way more.
1,000.
Quality.
Yeah, but we've got a system where it's just like, you know, we've whacked in people and dates and that kind of stuff in 10, and then if someone drops out, it's just like, sweet, jump in, first serve, and it's been actually quite good because we started last Thursday. I put my back out today. Fucking awesome.
Pussy.
Thanks
Brian.
That's
the problem.
Brian's fault.
Oh,
but anyway, and I'll tell you one thing, it has been freaking awesome, even though it's groups of 10, being back on the mat again. Like, you know, I'm there every day anyway, but it's just like, even like the white belts and everyone like, oh God, it's good to be back on the mat again. And it's just amazing when you can see that kind of thing. Have you actually been back on the mat, Phil, or not yet?
Well, I created a little private bubble with another member.
Illegal.
And rolled in the
Illegal.
garage.
Illegal bubble.
Yeah. So I might have done that, and it was amazing. What you
Seems
said.
to be an X's trend.
But he's
We
active.
rolled. For,
He is
yeah,
active as
we
well, so.
yeah. So yeah, and so that was a 3-hour session we ended up rolling for. It was just like we couldn't believe we were rolling again, and just kept going.
Oh my god!
Oh my God, we're doing it! It's happening! After that adrenaline dump that everyone probably experienced their first time, you just got into the flow of it again and got your grips back, and done your stuff.
I've got Tiger again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
25 minutes in.
I'm 3 down. Forrest, you mentioned earlier you went to Brazil.
Yes.
Like, how was? How was that? Tell us a wee bit about it. I mean, not just it was a really interesting place, but did you train? How long did you go for? How long?
So we went for, I think we went for 10 days. So we stayed at Ricardo's mum's house. So obviously in Brazil, shit's quite compact. Like it's a giant. There's 20 million people in the city. It's a concrete jungle. It's probably not a place I'd go back to. There's not really a lot of touristy things to do. You're probably better if you're going to go to. Yeah. But so we stayed at Ricardo's house. So me and Dan stayed in the lounge, and obviously his sister and his brother were living with his mum as well. So they keep it pretty good. And we were in the lower class area. It was still okay. Like it did us what we need to do. But yeah, we had to make sure he was with us all the time. We went and did trainings, went in a tournament. Worst thing, we had one competition we went in. I fought the first guy, beat him, went to fight the next guy, choked him, and they go, "Oh no, you can't do that." I was like, "What the fuck?
I just
What
did.
the fuck?" So I ended up losing to him on points, and then he won the thing. So then I got third because it's whoever.
Oh, so you would have actually won it though.
Well, yeah.
Is that what you
Well,
said?
I would if I'd beaten that guy, then I would have gone into the final. But it's if the two finalists, whoever wins, whoever they beat in their previous one gets third place.
Mhm.
So did that, but then we went and had Ricardo got his third stripe when he was over there, and by jingos, that looked horrible. It was an hour and a half of him, because obviously with our Japanese jiu-jitsu, it was striking. So there's no punches to the face, and as soon as someone grabs hold, you can't strike anymore. But these guys, Ricardo didn't grab hold once, and he just got fucking smashed. His legs were so black, blue, purple, every other color of the rainbow. And he just kept getting up, It was for an hour and a half, and we're like, oh my fucking God.
Like, I remember, I'll have to talk when we get Stacey on here, but I'm pretty sure when he got his black belt in Japanese Jiu-Jitsu, it went fucking all day.
Yeah, so
Like,
they
those
do.
dudes,
Yeah,
man,
because
those
he
dudes,
was
like they do like fucking, I don't know what the
Yeah,
fuck
so
they do, but it's
apparently
insane.
you had
Good
to
story.
for your black, you had to go and sit like at the dude's place. The old Mr. Morganti. You go and sit at his place, and you sit cross-legged or on your knees or some shit for like hours. You cannot move. And then after so long, he just decides you get up, and then you just go straight, and you just get a whopping. And there was we did a training with, it was just all the black belts from the city came along, and obviously me and Dan were like, I think I was an orange belt or some shit, and we were doing the one where you stand like kind of in a fighting stance, but obviously your feet are apart, and you're supposed to help with conditioning your legs. You kick inside, outside. And most people kind of know I've got a pretty good leg kick. I hurt people generally when I kick them after the second one. This one dude, he was a fucking big dude, and I was kicking him as hard as I could, and he was just standing there like stale face, just going harder. I'm like, bro, I've got no more.
It's not
Kick him
bad.
as hard as I can. He's just like harder. I'm like,
Fuck.
fuck, you need to tank kill this guy.
Oh, nice. And so you, so there 10 days. And just, did you train at other gyms or just?
Yeah, we travelled around. Fuck, it's a big city. Like, it took you an hour and a half to drive to different places. But then, like, they were obviously, me and Dan obviously stood out like dog's balls over there, because like we'd go wandering around, and there'd be like 5 black belts wandering around with us. Like, kind of like they were like our private security, and we were like VIPs and shit. So they're just wandering around, just looking at people. They obviously thought we were going to get rolled real easy. But yeah, we had one of the black belts was so they kind of have like an army police thing over there, and he was a cop for them. And we were walking out of that tournament, and you hear this like Portuguese yelling behind you. You turn around, and there's just like guys standing there pointing guns at you about 10 foot away. You're like, whoa!
Like, at you.
And because like obviously the one that we knew who was the cop, he was like hiding away because this was all a big setup. But obviously me and Dan didn't know. Ricardo knew all about it. We're standing there going, fuck. So
That's
like they
not
pat you down and stuff, and then they ask for your passport and shit, and you're like, what's just in my bag? I'm just gonna slowly reach into my bag. And then they all had a big laugh and thought it was real funny. And then like 3 other guys, lifted like a mufti clothes, come along, go ha ha, lift up their tops, and they've just got guns sitting there ready to go. And we're like, damn.
I'm going home.
Yeah, fuck.
Coming from like New Zealand, where like cops don't really carry guns and stuff. But even just like watching the security guards in the supermarkets, they've all got guns. No one actually has a gun holstered properly. They've all got them half pulled out, hand on it, ready to go.
And out.
Just like, you can see why. And then like they have went for a drive, and you can see like scooters are the easiest way for people to get through the town, and they just go beep beep, boom, straight past you. And they have like 20 or something people die a day on scooters.
Wow. Oh, mate,
I
was in Vietnam. Bang. When I was in Vietnam, I've never seen so many scooters. Like, I went to Bali and there were heaps there, but when I went to Vietnam, Jesus, those dudes, like, they're just straight up on the footpath. If there's a red light, they're just going everywhere. And yeah, it's insane when you get to a place that's very populated. The only way they get around is scooters because it's the fastest way around on anything. Phil, you travel a fair bit.
Yeah. Well, just to Tokyo, but yeah, I've been to Tokyo.
Oh, just. How often do you travel to Tokyo? Are you like?
Yeah, I was working it out at the end of last trip, and I've spent 6 months there now. So I think I've been, yeah, I don't know. Like it was lots of 6 weeks and 2 weeks and 4 weeks. It just lots of little things. So I was being sent for work. We've got our main head office for work is in Tokyo. So luckily enough, I get sent for work. I've got to do my 8-9 hours with an hour lunch break there, and then every night I just go back to my hotel, grab 2 gis, go do 2 classes every single night, go grab dinner, jump on your trains, get home, wash your gis, hang them, go to sleep and rinse and repeat. And I just do that for the whole time, every time I go there. So that's an amazing experience. It is very, very cool. And Tokyo is amazing.
I was going to say, you must have some pretty cool stories, though. Like,
yeah,
it's not just, I mean, it sounds like you're just breezing over it, but it must be pretty fucking cool.
Oh, no, it's amazing. So the level of instruction in Tokyo was amazing. So Taka Watanabe, he is the head instructor, and he teaches everything in 3 languages. So every single time he says to do anything, he's talking in Portuguese, English, and Japanese. But, only if he needs to. But I've been there when he's done all 3, and he does it fluently, and it sounds amazing. And it's like, this guy's a ninja that's doing that can do that. But he's been doing it for a long time. I was looking last time I was there, I think he got his black belt from Hickson in 1994, I want to say. So, he's been a black belt for a very long time, and all the best guys go through there, teach seminars. He's part of the Jiu-Jitsu Federation for Japan. He's doing massive things to try and get Jiu-Jitsu into the Olympics with the Olympic Federation and the IOC, especially with the Olympics going to be in Japan. I know he's been pushing very, very hard to get some sort of a form of grappling that's not judo into the Olympics, or wrestling, sorry. But over there it's amazing. And the level of Jiu-Jitsu with the little wee small Japanese people, it's so much more technical. So the level at which he teaches that, because it's such an old school, you're really only going to get a couple of white belts. So everything's being taught to, half the class is purple and above sort of thing. So, there's a different level, like, your school's sort of similar where you've got a lot of guys that have been around for a long time. So you can sort of teach a little bit more. I'm not sure if that's how you do it, but Taka definitely does. So he feels like he covers a lot, but he does the same thing every single class, and it's all working towards a goal over sort of 1 or 2 weeks. So you sort of, I was able to get 12 classes of a system in a 2-week period sort of thing. So I'd go for 6 weeks and I'd get sort of, 3 really well, constructed sort of 12 or 14 move sequences from a position or something, or a theme. And, it's amazing. It's like an encyclopedia of stuff. Some of it I won't use, some of it I do use. just amazing stuff. And he often will teach something that I might be doing that relates to something that he teaches, which is really weird. And a few guys have noticed that when they've gone over there. So you sort of, you know, you're the gaijin that's traveled over, and you're training with them, and they sort of, you know, they look after you like your family. Like I've made so many friends from jiu-jitsu there. Like it's amazing. I've got, you know, at least a dozen guys that I can go over there and hang out with after training, go out for dinner, whatever. We've got Christian, who's everybody's probably rolled with before, that's living over there now. But you know, it's great going and chilling with him now. It's good, yeah. Japan.
But you've been going back and forth for quite, when we say
for
quite
about
some
5
time.
years.
Yeah.
5 years now. I've probably been going for. So yeah.
Yeah.
Who've you trained with, like seminar wise? Didn't get a...
Yeah, so I did the 2-day seminar with Keenan over there, which was amazing. So we did, the first day was, and this was just when he was starting to teach his worm guard. So the first day was all the worm guard, and it was all the very early worm guard, which is quite, I don't know, a lot easier for me. I still use it. In fact, it's a great system, I would say. Not that much, but I use bits of it. And then the second day was smash passes. And yeah, I still use the smash pass that he did. And I got to roll with Kenan, which was amazing. He was a freak. Made me, like, a position I thought I was good in. He just smashed me. And he rolled with people for 45 minutes, king of the mat, and never left his bum off the mat. And this was in a room full of black belts. The Mendes brothers, I did a seminar with them over there. Actually, it was just Huffer. And it was after the seminar that he did in Christchurch. So I was sort of annoyed that I missed out on the Christchurch one.
Oh,
but he went to Japan and I got the Japan one. So it was actually all in the same tour that he was doing. But in Japan, it was a seminar there. So he actually taught something quite different. More how he runs a class and how he sort of works a system. And just the sort of drilling of his style of jiu-jitsu, which was because
I was going to say it'd be very like, because I've been watching a lot of the Mendes brothers lately. They very, because obviously they're not huge guys, they're very low center of gravity, you know. And when I watch a lot of their students and that teaching and that, especially through this lockdown kind of period, everything's very crouchy on the tips of your toes, kind of, you know, very explosive passing and that kind of stuff. And that would really suit the Japanese, kind of like, obviously they're not, you know, they're not huge people like we are, kind of thing, you know, on an average.
Yeah.
I'm not
definitely.
That's you.
Definitely. Like, that's a really good way of putting it, actually. The Japanese are a very Mendes brother version of jiu-jitsu. You know, they actually had, there's two brothers that train in Japan who are going crazy in the world scene, the Niwa brothers. And so they're brown belts at like 17 and 19 or something like that, and they've just spent 3 months training with the Mendes brothers over there on some sort of a scholarship, I think, or something. I'm not sure how that worked, but anyway, and yeah, it's because that jiu-jitsu sort of goes together, and Taka's got that relationship with them, and yeah, it's all very similar.
So that year you got to do the seminar with Huffer. That's the same year in the Hickson Cup that he just fucking wiped the floor there.
So that was the same year, and I got to sit there and watch that whole tournament, and it was amazing. So
and I got a T-shirt.
Yeah, I got you a T-shirt from it, exactly, and I think I got Forrest one as well from that same. Or that was from a Hickson Cup tournament.
Really?
Yeah.
Where was mine?
Yeah, sorry, Hayden.
I always seem to be the one that misses out, obviously.
You're noticing a theme.
Yeah.
Actually, on that, so everyone.
I just make my screen blank right now, and you know, just leave. We'll be all good.
Yeah. So you know, us three, Bryan and Forrest, we've been homies forever. Like, we message each other all the time, go out for dinner and stuff. You know, we've got.
Oh, look, it's actually
message things. It's quite cool.
Weird.
Just you're not invited.
Bryan and Phil, boy, can they chat? I'll come in sometimes, and I'll have like 40 unread messages.
Right, just keep up. Just keep up.
It was worse when I had no job in Ireland. I was like, fuck yeah, boom, 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 boom.
Hey, look, when I get on it, sweet.
That's all I get. That's the message I get. Sweet. Yeah.
No worries.
And it's sweet with one E.
What do you do with all the extra time, Hayden?
Oh, look, mate.
Save my E's.
Well, look, I'm a shocker, man. When it comes to social media, Bryan knows. I mean, you know as well. I don't do all that kind of stuff. I'm a quite simple person. Yo, what's up?
Sweet.
What's happening? Everyone knows when I don't write the shit. It's quite funny. It's a bit of a story. I walk into the gym. You didn't write that, did you? I said, it makes sense. Of course I didn't.
Syllables. Yeah.
Hey, I'm getting better.
Sometimes, yeah, you surprised me. I think you didn't write it. I did.
Yeah, that's why they got the that thing you talk to on the phone these days. You just talk to it and it writes it all for you, and then you just add bits and pieces. It's been great. Competing wise, now I know we talked a wee bit about MMA and that kind of stuff for you, Forrest, and you did that. Jiu-jitsu wise, though, I'm going to hit Phil first. Phil, competing, do you do it?
Yeah.
Do you like doing it?
So
What's your story?
That's a weird one, eh? And everyone always hassles me. I love to train with the dudes that love to compete. I love that intensity. I like to train with the best guys that I can roll with, and that's always been something that I've pushed for. I've always wanted to roll with the best guys in the room. I'm not one of these guys that hides in the corner, and I never have been and doesn't want to roll with the best guys. I've always thought that is the best way of getting better. You get that rub. So, but I don't like to compete. I've done your tournaments. Whenever you've held them, I'll always support a friend's competition. I did some riffing recently, but it's not something I really enjoy that much. I enjoy the training and I enjoy everything up to it, but for some reason, I just don't have an interest in doing it. For me, that's not evidence or proof of my getting better. Like, that's not what motivates me, if you know what I mean. I love going and hanging out with people and just getting better at jiu-jitsu, and that's what I'm into. But I have competed, and actually a competition that I should bring up, which is probably the coolest one that anybody's ever held, was the quintet one that we had in 2010.
I was going to bring that up earlier.
Because
later on.
That's something I guess we were all in. I don't know if you competed, Hayden?
Yeah, I did.
Yeah, you did? Yeah. So that was a badass tournament. So, in Little Christchurch in 2010, Jason Costa had the idea to get all the different styles
Shout out to Jason Costa
together. Shout out to Jason Costa. And have a 5-on-5 tournament, and it didn't matter about belts and it didn't matter about anything else. You had teams from your school and you turned up and you competed, and it was, well, what did we have there? It was, so you guys were the jiu-jitsu team, because I think at that time you were the there was another Academy Combat. Sorry, yeah.
They had two teams.
Technically, we were two teams, but you'd say we were Japanese jiu-jitsu back then. That was definitely what I was getting my gradings in.
Team from Dunedin.
Yep, Gracie Oceana came up from Dunedin.
Yeah.
And then there's the judo team.
Yeah,
it was the judo team. Two judo teams, I want to say.
Two or three.
There was the Cam.
Yeah, and Graham Spinks's boys were in it because they had all their black belts.
Yeah.
All their black belts in judo. And I
paid for Peter Broom.
Yeah, I did. Yeah.
And
I had all white. I think mine were all white belts. Yeah, I had all white belts at that stage.
I was the highest grade. I had 2 stripes.
Yeah.
Nice. Solid.
That was cool. That was such and it really cracks me up because that was 10 plus, well, around
10,
about
2010, because it was my first year. I've done jiu-jitsu for 3 months, and Carl was like, "You're doing a tournament," and I'm like, "What?"
So that was
had to go against black belts.
Yeah, that was 10 years ago, know, and now they're doing. Was it last year they had the first but we did it
10 years ago.
Yeah,
years ago.
Yeah. Amazing.
Yeah, I thought that was
Jace should have copyrighted it, right?
Yeah, you should have, Jace. You were onto something.
Missed out, mate.
Yeah, but he also did use Survivor Series and the Macho Man's picture on it, so maybe you can't
minor details, bro.
Schematics.
But yeah, so other than that, competitions though, if we want to continue there, I've only done 5 or 6, and I've never ever medaled. So yeah, still pretty good at jiu-jitsu, I think, but I've never ever won a medal in a competition that I've competed.
The last one you did that I remember was the kimono wrap-up when I was refereeing your fight, and we went to overtime, and we started it like the Eddie Bravo rules. So you started from the spider web, and the guy, I remember this because the guy had the armbar, and I said, "Are you ready?" And he said, "Yes." And Phil said, "Yep, what?" And I'd already said go, and I was like, "Fuck." And I ripped the armbar on, tap, and I was like, I looked at you, and I was like, I can't bring it back. And it was.
The other thing is, everybody comes into things like that with injuries. So, I just dislocated one elbow recently before that, and I had to give him my bad arm, my non-jiu-jitsu side. So it was always going to go like that, and I should have finished the job before then. It was, it was a sub-only comp for anybody that wasn't there. And yeah, I didn't get the job done in 5 or 6 minutes or whatever I had. I was very close for a long time. Heard them gurgling, but yeah, didn't finish the job. And yeah, so that's the rules. That's cool.
Hey, I'm just going to go back to the Jason Costa thing for Forrest, because Forrest, I actually watched that probably not long ago anyway.
I wrote a blog on it. I chucked the videos in.
You should put a link.
You were the one that wrecked everyone in the final.
Yes.
Just fucking body triangled everyone from the back and just squeeze those
I
internal
always
organs.
remember, like, you're not allowed to do that.
It's illegal.
Nah.
It's a spinal crank. I think that's what I call my blog, was Spinal Tap. I was like, yeah.
And then Forrest won a gi at that competition, and that
Still
was
wears it.
Still got it.
still got it. And it's
Really need to buy
you
some
would
new
see
gis.
Forrest
If anyone wants to
wearing-
sponsor me, I'm looking at competing this year and shit. Sponsor.
hook
Yeah,
him up.
I'm down.
He's all right.
Did Marvia actually give you a gi, bro?
Yeah, bro, it's awesome.
Yeah.
I just need some more. I've actually got money to buy another one, but I need more. I need 12,000.
Yeah, you do. You do. Everyone does.
Every colour of the rainbow.
Jiu-jitsu, well, competitions for you then, Forrest. I mean, we spoke to Phil, like, jiu-jitsu competitions. Like, tell us about that, how you deal with that and all that kind of stuff.
I don't deal with them. I've probably only done, like the first one I think you did, Hades, the one that, where was that one? QE2?
QE2?
Or something?
Yep.
Yeah. So I did that one. Shit and bricks. I get real anxious before stuff.
You
and
Forrest
I'm
got on.
nervous
forget
as
that.
shit. So I panic, and that's why I haven't competed heaps in BJJ, which is weird. You think BJJ is a bit safer than going into a cage fight, but so I did that one. I've done another one that you had somewhere else, Hades.
It's the one in the girls' school.
I think I was
Wasn't
just
it?
a fresh purple belt, and I was like strutting around going, yeah, I'm purple belt, and just got fucking drilled.
Who did you fight though?
No.
Lucas Hange. You fought Lucas Hange, and at that stage he was triangling everybody in under 20 seconds. And yes, he triangled you, and it was around about a minute though. So you actually lasted.
Oh, okay.
I watched that and I was just like, I know this guy Forrest, he's really good, but this dude Lucas is just smashing everybody. And then he did win, yes, but fuck, that's a pretty hard ask on your first comeback.
And then I went from there, and then I didn't compete for ages. And then I think the next one again, Hades, was your. It seems I just competed at your things, Hades.
Yeah, mate.
Pretty much it. So did
I
that,
ran good tournaments.
I think because the speaking of like poor old Phil saying no medals, R.I.P. Phil. My kid wears all my medals, and like I've got medals from doing marathons and shit. Not winning, clearly no, just competing them. And he like wears all the medals, and he's like, I like these medals, Dad. You should get some more. I'm like, yeah, no, it's easy as, mate.
Pump the brakes, boy.
But then yeah, did the full force one in, when was that? February.
Yeah, February.
Yeah, I just come back.
Snuck a couple of wins on that one, and then I was looking at doing quite a few Jits comps this year. I was going to do the one in Christchurch, which was going to be next month, and then head down south. So hopefully I can still head down south, because I've decided that I've just got to get in there and do it. There's not enough like black belts and shit that do stuff. Everyone gets to like brown and stuff.
We're all doing it, mate.
Yeah,
I'm going to give it a go again. Give it a go, mate.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like I'm not like, I'm sure they do, like people do, no doubt. But a lot of people get to like brown and back, they're like, nah, I don't need to compete anymore. But I just feel like everyone at the gym kind of, I feel like they look up to me a wee bit and go, well, it's probably because I'm tall too. Which helps.
You're 6'3", mate.
Because when I put my name down for that full force one, everyone was so excited, and I'm like, fuck, now I've got more pressure on me. And but yeah, I want to do some more competing.
It's not just that though. It's just
now that
like
I can actually train more than one day a week.
Yeah, it's just like when you know, okay, like I said, we're not the biggest school, but the thing is though, the guys that we have got are just like, they just go hard and hard. And when they train with you, like I said, got one face, and it's full on, and all they see is you tapping everyone, and then you just going hard, and they just want to see you just like go do your thing. And which, I mean, you did. You went to the full force one, and you just fucking let rip. And it was awesome to see, because you just did your thing and went into it. A lot of people don't know. You run. This is the funniest thing. Now, I spoke to the team the other day, and when the lockdown happened, what's that app you guys got onto?
Tinder.
Tinder? Tinder, did you say? Oh, no. What is it?
Strava.
Strava.
Oh, sorry, wrong one.
So you got onto Strava, and the whole team thought, shit, yeah, okay, we're going to get onto Strava. We'll do this kind of thing. And I can't remember who I was doing it. And then at the end of it, it was like everyone else combined.
Oh, no, bullshit.
Yeah, they tried to combine to beat what you run.
That's what Sarah said. She goes, everyone should just try and beat Forrest overall. But Christian, for a big dude, he runs some Ks, man. He does 10K runs and shit.
Yeah, but bro, he was like, oh yeah, but Forrest does like shit. Even Dave said today, Dave goes, oh, I seen Forrest the other day. You know what? I said running past you on your bike.
He was.
Like a Terminator.
Bike rides.
Have you seen this boy?
Yeah. Like, honestly, Forrest, you run fast Ks. You're a fast runner. But that tall, length. But you obviously got good technique because, you're not. I remember recently you started getting into running and started to run a few half marathons and had some goals. And coming into it, you hadn't actually run that much. I remember doing a CrossFit workout with you back in the day. And you just going through that and vomiting afterwards. Yeah, exactly. During and after.
Yeah. I was like, I had to do like 5 rounds of that one, and I was like doing chin-ups and squats and burpees or some shit, and I had to keep doing them. And I'd eaten a wee bit too soon before I did the workout.
Like during.
Yeah, that was funny. It was like I walk out around the corner, he's like, I'm just going, and then he walked out around the corner, and I was like, where's Forrest gone? Because I was doing a workout at the same time.
Yeah.
I went and saw her, and yeah, he's chucking. But
secret level.
Keep going.
You got into you're a gifted athlete. Let's just say, Forrest.
Just dabble in things.
Yeah, but hang on. You were right into your CrossFit.
Yeah.
Now I don't think it was like CrossFit as in little CrossFit. Like didn't you say it was more like power CrossFit?
Well, I did a bit of CrossFit. Yeah, I did. So yeah, I was with I've been doing CrossFit basically as long as I've been doing jiu-jitsu, and I took it pretty seriously back in the day for sort of about 3 years. So yeah, I was sort of at CrossFit Canterbury way back in the day, the Franks brothers and stuff. And then Kip Kodzikes opened up his sort of Trailblazer, he's now a strongman, and he was all into that sort of more strongman CrossFit style. And that's definitely the way that CrossFit's gone now. You look at the people and they're massive. Yeah. Like, when I was into CrossFit, it was more of a not lifting so much weights. I did enjoy that, but they were more the smaller, more agile ninja type person was the people that were winning all the events. And then it sort of got heavier and heavier, and the people got more and more jacked. And I sort of stopped before that after a shoulder dislocation, actually, at CrossFit, not jiu-jitsu. But I did enjoy it, and I did sort of get sort of top couple hundred in Australasia or something like that, or New Zealand, Australia at one point, for a couple of years, but not making that sort of top 50 cut. But yeah, no, I did all right. I enjoyed a bit of the old CrossFit, and I still do it. I think it's a great way to work out. You don't have to. You can do it in lots of different ways, and people do.
What's not a great way to work out is when Phil and Forrest challenge you to 1,000 push-ups and you fucking fail miserably and can't move for 10 days.
You're doing other shit. That was your problem.
Yeah.
Because I couldn't do the
You made up all sorts of other stuff. There was some maths. Forrest did the maths for us. It was like you just have to do 17 press-ups on the minute, every minute for 58 minutes. And then the last minute, you can have 14. But then Forrest was like, nah, this is too easy, 17. I can do it faster than that.
I'll do 15.
Yeah, see, look, always one that's got to get better, right?
Yeah. I know, it's me. I'm a very competitive person, but then Cam Steer fucking smoked.
Look, this lockdown thing's been fucking hilarious because, like, I get Cam. Cam's I don't even know who started, whether it was Ben or whether it was Cam or someone. They started doing like handstand kind of things, and then it gets on the brick, and then it's on the old fucking dumbbells, and then it's on fucking something
kettlebells, and
the thing was hilarious. The
one-manship of the lockdown was quite funny. Yeah, there was one in the middle there too, which was the PK, which was the 3 burpees, 6 press-ups, 9 sit-ups, 12 squats.
That one I did.
Yeah, do as many rounds as you could in 10 minutes, and quite a few people did that. I think Cam or Ben got the best. I think Ben probably 10.5 rounds or something stupid. That freak.
He's cut from like Zeus's cloud. Him
and Forrest those two just like chiseled. Like he just came out and chiseled them away. And it's like, yeah, there you go. Greek God for you.
I'm like Thor in the last movie with the beer gut.
Yeah. Yeah, as I take another swig.
All right.
Go, Bryan. You've been very quiet in this.
I
Yeah,
know,
no way.
it's
It's been real quiet. It's like, bro,
Everyone goes
I've been more.
Hayden cuts me in. Cuts
That's
me
right.
out.
No, you
So-
just haven't spoken.
Shut up. So
Shut up.
training
Show up
in
your
Japan.
face.
Okay, you shut up. No, you shut up.
You shut up.
Training in Japan though, like, how do you find with tattoos? Because you got a few tattoos, Phil. What are they like there with the tattoos? And that?
So my issue in Japan is I can't go to like an onsen. I can't go to swimming pools. I can't do any of that sort of stuff. And you know,
What's that?
because of tattoos. So basically,
What tattoos?
yeah, I don't have any. In Japan, basically, it was a way they identified gang members for a long time. And if you had tattoos, you were a Yakuza member because nobody else would get tattoos. And it's sort of done in a really weird way over there. To be a tattoo artist, you've technically got to be a doctor because you're breaking the skin. So you've got to get a medical sort of license, and then you've got to then become a tattoo artist. So it's quite a long process for someone to become a tattoo artist, and you have to spend a lot of money on it and all that sort of stuff. I know there's all sorts. I saw a documentary on it recently. It's really weird, but most people don't have tattoos, and I've got my feet tattooed and all sorts of stuff, my back, and you know, you guys know. So over there, I just train jiu-jitsu basically. I can't even go to a gym without covering all my tattoos. So I can't wear shorts in a gym. I went to sign up at a gym and they're like, you're going to have to wear compression clothing or something over all that. It's like stuff that it's 39 degrees outside. I'm not, you know, I'm not doing that. So yeah, for me, the tattoos, jiu-jitsu is cool and everybody sort of understands there. There's actually a tattoo artist that trains there and some guys with some very traditional Japanese tattoos for other reasons. And yeah, it's cool. They don't mind because I've got my feet, my toes, everything tattooed, and they're all cool with that. And I've never had issues.
Oh, nice. Because I found when I was over there, like I didn't have sleeves when I was there. I just had my back, I think then, but it was the same thing.
You just wear singlets everywhere.
I just like midriff tops.
Oh, okay.
You can see my belly button and my tattoo. Fuck you. But they were the same thing. Like we worked there, though. No one could see your tattoos, and then the Japanese guy had spiders all over his hands, and I was like, what's the deal? He's like, it's just a guideline. It's a rule, but it's not really a rule. It's an old rule, but if you don't like it, you just say no, and you can do what you want.
Well, Japan's very weird like that.
Yeah.
Like, you know, they couldn't even lock down Japan right now because the government don't have enough power to actually shut down Japan because it was sort of taken off them after World War II. So they couldn't actually shut down Japan properly. So it was actually quite interesting. Japan is a very interesting culture, but, you know, an amazing place and probably the safest place in the world I've ever been to.
Yeah, it's fucking
When you say tattoos, is it certain kind of tattoos? Or
No, it's just tattoos full
general?
stop. So, yeah, so if I get on a bus and there's an old lady sitting there, they'll sit and point at me and look at my tattoos. And they're, like, not doing that. They'll do it right in your face and let you see them doing that. Yeah, so, you, Gaijin, you've got covered in tattoos. What's up with that? That's pretty strange. You're gang.
What's your best jiu-jitsu tattoo? You got a few jiu-jitsu tattoos now, eh?
Yeah, I do have a couple of jiu-jitsu tattoos. You know, I started off with this sort of snake thing, which I thought was quite cool, which was sort of symbolizing jiu-jitsu. And then I've got, but you know, to me,
how long is it if it's coming down your arm, mate?
Yeah, I know. But for me, it's the Jits toes, and I'm gonna finish them off with the Jits Life actually. So
nice.
I'm gonna finish off the other foot with Life. So yeah, I've got Jits written across my toes now on my right foot. So I'm going to continue that. But yeah, that's my favourite one.
Hang on, Forrest, don't you have it as well?
No, Jits. I've got like Morganti jiu-jitsu on my boob.
Where's Groundworx going there, bro?
Yeah.
No,
come on, mate. You can't go one without the other.
I'm not, because I also look at like
okay, that's right.
Brad
I know where your loyalty's
Brad
like
Kourey's
there,
one, and they have quite a cool tattoo, but I just don't know if I like our panda, really.
Not the panda.
Don't do the panda, do the fucking tiki man.
Yeah.
Jesus.
Well, we need me, Bryan and Phil have talked about like getting matchy tattoos.
I believe we've procrastinated.
Yeah, but it's
right,
got to happen. I got a guy.
That's getting a wee bit deep, man.
Yeah, I got a guy, but yeah, definitely we're gonna do a crew tattoo sometime for sure, just for life.
Yeah, I'm
you got
my feet.
You got a tattoo T-shirt on there,
Oh,
Bryan.
yes.
What's that?
While we're talking tattoos, and I've got this bad boy here. So Burning Needles down Papanui Road, just right beside Countdown. He's back open again, level 2. So we'll give him a wee shout out. It's my own Cole Star. Good man for tattoos. All right, jump in.
Oh,
I
nice. That was a good
someone for
play.
a
That
tattoo.
was a good play, Brian. That was a really good play.
Nice.
See how I worked that in there?
Literally.
Like fucking
Yeah.
like massaging Play-Doh. That's me.
Oh, look, really, look, we're getting to that point where, you know, people don't like listening after an hour.
Fuck him.
No, I know.
I will not do that.
4 of us,
People
we get,
like-
we
but
get
see,
like an extra
problem
half
is-
hour because there's an extra person.
Yeah, but fucking you guys could talk for fucking ages then.
We could.
Fine then. Brian,
Yeah,
fucking
okay.
give him another question. Give him another question, Brian.
Oh, I don't have any more questions now. Then I've got my top 5.
You're like,
Bust
what?
those.
Well, I don't
One
want top
question.
5 yet. Fucking Forrest
Give
wants to
one
keep talking.
question.
Yeah.
All right then. So
Wait, sorry, Forrest. Let me talk. Let me ask.
all right.
Let me get Forrest talking.
Be
So,
full of
Forrest,
ourselves.
what belt did you get to in Japanese Jiu-Jitsu? Because we both studied Japanese Jiu-Jitsu. I got to a green belt, and
I got yellow.
out of that belt.
I got purple.
Nice. You got to a purple.
So I
belt.
got purple, so I went in Japanese jiu-jitsu to the purple, and then we went with Hayden from Groundworx, so I got to plummet back to the white, and then I
Yeah.
strode my way
Yeah.
back up.
Never look back, mate. Never look
But-
back.
I was
And then-
quite
as a purple,
I was
though.
quite proud.
As a purple,
That's
you
right, I was
also
quite-
got
yeah,
gifted. Didn't you get gifted a belt as well? Well, I'm gifted a promise of a belt that we all knew would eventually happen. Tell
Oh
us that
yes,
one.
my fencing. I was just telling Hayden about that today. Well, we're looking at it because I'm going to get. So when I was with Ricardo, when he left, he obviously I think the highest was a purple, but I wasn't a purple. I was only an orange or some shit. And when he left, he gave me a black belt and said, "You're the only one I think will ever get to this belt." And it sat in my drawer for a long fucking time.
Yeah.
But yeah, got fortunately enough to get mine from Hayden through Stacey just before lockdown. And then I felt like a blue belt because I was like, I've got my black belt. And then I didn't actually get to roll again before we got locked down because I was like, couldn't make the Saturday, had to work couldn't make the Wednesday, had to work the Saturday. And then we were like meeting on Monday, lockdown Wednesday. I was like, oh shit, now I'm like that blue belt who gets the blue belt and just never comes back.
I've waited 11 years to wear this fucking belt.
I tell you what, it's a fucking pretty nice belt, though. To be quite honest, it's a fucking pretty nice belt when you wore it today.
How did you wear it?
Is it made out of the soles of
Oh,
wood?
amazing.
can't
I
live in
need
my
to
drawer
come and see
forever,
this
man.
thing.
Can't
I
live
actually
in my
haven't
drawer
even rolled with you. Like, we need to get out of this lockdown. I need to come and roll with this black belt.
Oh, fuck! I tell you what.
Yeah.
Look, this is actually that's a question, like, because I remember when, and I've spoken to Bryan about this a wee bit too. I'll hit Forrest with this one though, bro. When you got your black belt, I mean, it's an amazing achievement in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu and in any martial art, I suppose. But like for me, because I'm solely Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, how did you actually feel? Like, because like I remember when I got mine, I was like, I had a goal, and it was to get my black belt. Once I got there, it was like, oh, I got my black belt. I know you haven't trained that much in it,
Yeah.
but how do you, like, it almost took me a few months. It was like a pause phase. It was like,
Well, I've almost had a few months of a pause phase of not doing anything. I don't know. I think if you look at Brian's photos when we were doing our grading, I was just like, fuck. I feel like there's a new standard now, and I'm like, fuck, I've got so much to learn. I feel like I've almost gone. They say now I learn, now I start to learn, or whatever the fancy saying is and shit, or now I begin my duty or whatever. I'm like, fuck, I feel like I know nothing. Like, obviously I've got my stuff that I do, but as far as other stuff, I'm like, I've got to learn some other shit. I can't just keep doing the same few subs. Nearly enough, I'm pretty good
I
at
tell
that.
you, over
Then
the
you black
last,
belt level with them.
oh mate, I'm just,
I need more.
do you know what? Over the last 5 years, since I've been a black belt, like that resonates because like I got to that point, and then I was like, I thought I was like there, but really I was down. You know, I was down, and it's just like I feel like my jiu-jitsu's come a long way further along since I've actually got it, because I feel like I've started back at the start, and just everything is now just refined and that kind of stuff. So it's just one of those things. I think Bryan, you probably, I don't know if you had the same kind of feeling I know you're an island and that kind of stuff, but yeah.
Yeah, it was. I think because I was by myself. I think I reflected and moved quicker.
By myself.
Don't wanna be. But it was same thing. I was like, oh fuck, now I have to be a black belt. And then it was like straight away. I was like, but hang on, nothing's changed. I mean, I didn't expect to get it. I thought I was going to get when I came back to New Zealand. So I was like, even if I was still a brown belt, I still had the same skills. I could move back to fucking blue belt. I'd be just as good as I am now. Fuck it. I just have to do what I do and fuck it. Just, yeah, that people can deal with it. It was traveling to other schools where I was freaking out thinking, fuck, what if I don't fit their mold of a black belt?
That's what I concern myself about as well. It's like you're now almost when you black belt, you're a little bit on a pedestal and you got to try and stay on the pedestal. And I worry, because I'm a bit of a doubty person, that people are going to go, where's the black belt? Fuck, he didn't do very good.
Yeah.
And then you're like, ah, fuck.
Trust me. At my school, you don't get a black belt unless you're good enough for it.
Yeah, and
that's actually something that we should touch on, is the level of jiu-jitsu in Christchurch. It is ridiculous, actually, because I've traveled the world. Bryan's traveled the world. You know, I'm sure you have too. Hayden, Forrest has been to Australia, I know, and also
got shot in Brazil.
Brasilia.
Yeah, Brasilia. But you know, our level of jiu-jitsu is really good. Like people, I think, would be surprised at how good the level of jiu-jitsu in Christchurch is. You know, there's a lot of really good guys out there that it's really good, and you know, they hold up world class, I think.
You must find that though too when you were teaching quite a fair bit. Like when you start teaching people jiu-jitsu, you just see it. You see someone, whether they're a white belt, whether they're a blue belt, or whatever belt they are. You know, you look at them and you think, "Oh, you are fucking good."
Yeah. So I've been lucky enough. I've had 2 guys since I've sort of started doing that have just been like,
what?
Okay, I just need to spend a little bit more time with that one person, and I know they're gonna, you know, get that belt really quickly. And Ezra, I think he's come up here, you know, 3.5 years or whatever, he's a purple belt now, and he's amazing. Like, you know, he's national.
Shout out to Ezra.
Sort of stuff. Shout out to Ezra, my boy. And you know, like you notice these guys, and it's just like, yeah, and it's great to watch that and to mold it. And it's
who's the other one, Phil?
The other one is Matt Dell. So he's got his blue belt now. My homie Matt Dell, Jared Dell, who is a badass too.
Tattoo artist.
Shout out to him. Tattoo artist too. So yeah, it's amazing to watch them develop so quickly. But the thing is, they're really lucky as well, because they don't have to figure that bad jiu-jitsu out that we were figuring out 10 years ago as well. Like the level of information that is out there now and the stuff that really works, you can watch those black belts and go, actually a bow and arrow really works on anybody. You know, like that's 60% of all submissions at a black belt level are bow and arrow chokes that I seem to watch. And it's like, okay, I should just work on that and not the bullshit jiu-jitsu that people are just tapping neck cranks or whatever, you know? Like,
oh, it's unreal, like the level.
What you can watch and what you can learn and adapt into your own game now is, you know, you can just accelerate really fast.
Yeah, I agree on that, because like, you know, when I started jiu-jitsu VCRs, and you know, it was, you know, I remember buying and I still have it at the gym for anyone that's got a DVD player, which is the 80 ADDC when Hodger went through everyone.
2006.
You know, that's how we learnt. Books. I've got the Machado books that people still take, but you still watch it or still read it, and it's still relevant.
Yeah.
And you know, 19 years ago, there was one school in Christchurch, and that was it. You know, so you were only getting taught by blue and purple belts. There weren't black belts in Christchurch. Well, there weren't black belts in New Zealand at that stage. You know, and then as you've gone through the time, but then obviously you know, you got yourself and then Forrest and everyone else that has come through, and now you're just teaching to this young generation that are just coming through. I talk about them a lot around the kids, you know, we have two or three kids at the gym. Well, they're not kids, they're young teenagers, you know, and they give it a couple more years. I've noticed through the lockdown, Kieran and Stacey, they started training this week. Oh, Jesus, they've got a lot stronger. You know what I mean? But they've got the advantage of having purples, browns, and blacks teaching them. Do you know what I mean? and investing in them, and not just them, white belts. You know, when, like I said, when you were coaching, you're coaching them. Do you know what I mean? And then you've got other brown belts, and you've got other purples, and then you got other blues coaching white belts. Not like when I did and yourself and that kind of stuff. There was just blues or purples. I started my school as a purple belt. Do you know what I mean? And it's, these days it's just like everyone wants to give. It's pretty cool to see that, actually.
For sure. It's a beautiful thing.
Okay, I'm going to hit the questions. Now, these are rapid fire questions, fellas. Okay? They're Brian's questions.
Is it? So are we doing one each?
Yep, no, we're going to do one each. Okay?
Right.
So
Who's
what we'll do,
first?
we'll get this right. Forrest will always be the first, and then you're second, Phil.
Whoa, are we talking about questions, or are you talking about in general? Because that's a pretty big statement. 'Cause I like
No, I'm pretty much first. Ask the wife.
He's faster.
He always comes first. Sometimes not at all.
And then, and then we'll go from there.
All right. So, favorite martial arts movie?
I'm all about old Ip Man movies. They're fucking cool. Kung Fu. Always wanted to learn Kung Fu. When I win Powerball, it's going to happen, motherfuckers. I'm learning Kung Fu. That's going to be fucking cool.
Ip Man.
So I'll go Ip Man movies.
Sweet. Phil?
For me, I'll do a series too, the American Ninja ones. I love those things. Love them.
I rented so many of those videos when I was a kid.
Rangers, boy. Rangers.
For me,
Right, we're starting to... What about... I'm going to jump in there. What are they? Kung Fu Kids or whatever they were called?
Kung Fu Kids and that little kid that farted at
Oh, bro! Oh.
That's disgusting.
That's disgusting. Who does fart jokes? Oh, Bryan. That's you.
All right.
This year.
All right. Top game or bottom game?
But I'll answer for me and Phil. I'll say I'm bottom game, even though I was talking to Hayden saying, I really need to work on top. And Phil will go, motherfucking heavy ass top game, bitches.
Thanks. I don't need to answer it.
All right. All right. Finally, I get people in the right age bracket. Master System or Nintendo?
See, I had Master System.
Yeah, I was a Master System boy. I didn't have Nintendo.
All right. Worst injury you've ever seen? It doesn't have to be jiu-jitsu. I'm just in general. I know Forrest is a massive fan of fucking carb shit, so this.
Worst one I've seen. Is this like I've physically seen or something I've seen on TV? Or
Nah, physically seen.
Bro, don't get too technical. Just what you see.
Just trying to whittle it down. Must say, that guy I fought my first fight, I busted his nose out real good. It was like fully fucking sideways. Probably
that's the
I was like, after fight, like upstairs, his nose was all like super fat and he's bleeding. I'm like, fuck yeah, man, that was awesome. Yeah, have a beer, yeah. And he's like, probably going, fuck you, cunt. Demoed me. So I'll go that one.
Phil?
Yeah, for me, it was watching a guy cut his hand open when I was a chef. Yeah, had to send him off to hospital. He went pretty white.
Ooh.
How'd you go? You all right?
Yeah, I was fine.
Who was the one that cut him?
I've always done, stooped him. No, I've always done first aid training and stuff since really
Down with the finger.
I'm all good with that stuff.
All right. And now we're going to the big question.
Don't wash.
You what? You what? So, do you wash your belt? No, don't. You do. Forrest?
No, never. Never, ever. Never, ever.
If I ever smell it, I wash it. But I have,
No. That wasn't the
Yes
question.
or no?
Do you wash your belt? Yes or no?
I've washed my belt 10 times over.
And how long?
Today.
Over 10 years. About once a year, I'd wash my belt.
Oh,
I don't even know.
I don't know if you want to count that.
Do it
I don't know
that
if you
way.
want to count it.
that's got to be a half. I reckon
You
that's
said
like,
I'm like a
half.
halfie.
Yeah, that's a half.
That's just the tip in. That's
Just,
you're just
I
teasing.
thought we weren't going there.
That's
Oh,
a halfie. Jesus,
Sorry.
I am kicking your ass at the moment. Well,
at least I'm clean.
Jesus. Hey, look, guys. Yeah, we could probably sit here for hours and talk, but we do have to call it at some stage. Really, really appreciate you coming on. So Phil normally trains at Axis in Riccarton.
Yeah,
So
and that's
anyone
true,
around,
but, yeah.
anyone around on that side of town, make sure you hit it up. Make sure you click on Axis headquarters and take it through to that way. They're in Annex Road.
Yep.
Yep. Nice.
Actually, no, Birmingham Drive now. Sorry,
Birmingham Drive.
Drive.
And Forrest, you train at that place, was it Groundworx in New Brighton, eh?
Yeah.
So look, thank you very much for coming on, boys. Really appreciate it. Really enjoyed it. It was a really good session. It was a good bunch last time. We'll probably get you on again. Plenty to talk about. So awesome. Thank you very much.
Ciao, boys.
Okay, nice. Can you get out of the system?
God, I've lost something.
Peace out.
Can you get out?
Yeah, I can get out. I got to move the mouse slowly. What are you doing, Forrest? Jesus Christ.